Imagine what Joseph is going through when he sees his 10 brothers, the ones who sold him into slavery, the ones who wanted to kill him, walk in, and he knows exactly why they're there. They're there to take from him. They're not there to give to him. And he's the most powerful man in the world. I wonder what thoughts go through his mind when he sees his brothers. I wonder what you and I would do. All those guys that said you'd never make it. All those guys that used and abused you on the way. I wonder what you and I would do in that same situation. But they come in. He recognizes them. And they obviously request food and they're looking to trade. They're not looking just to take. They've done everything right. And he looks at them and he wants to see whether they're honorable or not. But here's the kicker. His immediate response to his brothers is not to abuse them, it's to bless them. And when you let God grow you, when you grow to go, when your enemies come at the door, you bless them. And you don't lose one bit of power. You see, sometimes we get manipulated, sometimes we get used, sometimes we get abused, and it's like, God, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to let myself in that situation again. But when God places you in your purpose, you are so secure, you are so in control, you are so unaffected by what people do, because God got you here. People didn't get me here. God got me here, that I can bless my enemies. And he blesses them. He gives them food. And they pay for it with silver behind their backs, and also a little bit to mess them. I like Joseph. He's quite cool, right? A little bit to mess with them. He puts the silver back in their bags. But here's the thing. They say to him, he questions them because he wants to know about his dad. Guys, just think about this. It's been 22 years at this point in time. 22 years. He's been thinking about his dad, the one who loved him. The one who put a coat on him of many colors. The one who loved him more than anyone else. And he asks, where do you come from? Who's your family? And they talk about their whole big, beautiful family. Can you imagine the pain? Joseph hearing about how the family is not just doing well, it's grown because he's got a brother. They say there's 10 of us here, but there's an 11th who's at home and a 12th who is dead. And they're talking about him. And his response to that is, I'm going to bless you. Nonetheless. Because you should recognize me. I know it's 22 years later, but I'm still the same guy. I still have the same face. You should know who you're talking to. But they don't. And so, okay, he messes with them a bit. He puts the silver in their bags, and he sends them on their way home. While they're on their way home, he sends his servant, go check their bags. This guy has got power. He's going to use it, right? And so the servants come and they're like, you guys have treated us as villains, as dogs. You've stolen from us. And they're like, no way, we'd never do such a thing. All very humble. You know, like when the reckoning comes for them, when they were the ones in charge and they were throwing Joseph in the pit, they were all big and mighty. But now when Joseph's servant comes along and is like, hey, you stole from us, they're like, oh no, let us bow before you. You know, they're very humble. They're like, show us what's in your bags. They open up the bags. Lo and behold, it's full of silver. And they're like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And they're like, look what you have done. You have treated us, given us ill for our goodwill that we've sent you. Long story short, Joseph says, you got to give me one of your brothers. He takes Simeon and puts him in the prison and sends the rest back and says, here's Joseph's big plan. He says, go home, get your father and your younger brother and bring them here. He wants to meet his family. And so they've got no idea what's going on. They go back, and when they get there, here's how they treat it. They've got all this grain and the silver that they were supposed to pay for it. And so they're like, hey, the guy down there, he wants everyone to come back because he's still got our brother in the prison. And Jacob is like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to stay here and your brother will be fine. I mean, I don't understand, but it is what it is. And so they stay another year at home, and then the grain runs out. I mean, what are you thinking is going to happen, I'm sure the famine will end soon, No, you still got another 5 years of famine you're coming your way. So they stay another year. And when the grain runs out, they're like, okay, listen, we got to go back to Egypt. So here's the silver you were supposed to pay them, and here's more silver to buy more stuff. Go and hopefully they'll treat you well. And so they arrive, and Joseph is like, you're spies in the land, you're evil people, and he brings them in, and they're like, we're so sorry, here is the silver, we've paid you back, we never wanted this to happen, blah, blah, blah. The dream is coming true, guys. These guys are just bowing and bowing and bowing to Joseph. And Joseph is listening to him because they're speaking to each other in Hebrew. They're speaking to each other in their language, and they don't realize that he understands them. And they're talking all the time. They're talking stories behind Joseph's back. And he understands every single word, but he doesn't let on. He's still. But here's where you got to see Joseph's heart. Every time he meets with them, they talk about Benjamin, they talk about his father, he weeps. But he can't weep in front of anybody. He's now in Egypt. Egypt is a symbol of the world. It's not God's kingdom in that sense, right? Like, God will use this world to enrich you. Don't ever make a mistake, right? But we're not of this world. We might be in it, but we're not of it, right? And so he excuses himself and goes to another room and weeps because he's seeing his family again for the first time. So he does this again. When Benjamin comes in, oh my goodness, he loses it. This is his brother. This is the one God told him about in his dream, because there was a sun, moon, and 11 stars, but he only had 10 brothers. And now he sees Benjamin come in, and he's like, God, here's the fulfillment. Can I just tell you, when the fulfillment comes, you will recognize it. There's something God spoke to you. When you see it, right now it doesn't make sense, guys. Right now it's not lining up. But one day you will walk into a situation and you go, this is it. No one else believed me, but this is it. Even I wanted to doubt. Even I didn't believe it would come to pass. But this is it. Here I am. And so he weeps for his siblings. And so long story short, he gets his father out. There's so much to the story. You can go and just dig it and chew it yourself. But he gets his father out. He meets his father. He meets his younger brother. And they throw like a feast to eat together. These brothers they're not smart. Like, they're not the smartest guys ever. I mean, this is like the most powerful man in the universe. And he's throwing a feast for you and your father and your brother, but not telling you who he is. And so long story short, they eat together. And Joseph is not allowed to eat with them because Joseph is an Egyptian. He must be separate from them. And so Joseph eats alone, but sends food to their table. And when he sends, note this is going to be important, when he sends food to each one of them, he sends the same portion until he gets to Benjamin, who gets 5 times as much. Now, it's gonna play in, right? The story is intricately weaved. God is a master of communication. 5 times more goes to Benjamin. And when things just, he's had enough, he can't stand it any longer, he pulls them all together and he reveals his identity to them. Can you imagine the fear in the brothers' hearts when they get into a room with the most powerful man in the universe and they realize the whole time he's been listening to their conversations, he's been messing with them. You see, it goes deep. They went back again to get the father. He put a special cup inside of Benjamin's bag. And now the only reason Benjamin was allowed to come in the first place is because Judah, note that name, said that he will protect Benjamin with his life. And so Joseph puts the cup, the silver cup, it's very important, inside Benjamin's bag. And so when the servants come, they open the bag, they find this thing that has been stolen. We're looking for it, right? And these guys are like, no way, no way. And they're like, we're taking Benjamin. We're taking Benjamin. Because we know that Jacob, back at home, Israel, the father, loves Benjamin more than anyone else. And the only thing that's going to get him to come is Benjamin. So he takes Benjamin. But everything he's been doing, every little bit of messing with them, all of it has been to bless them. Every time he puts the money back, everything they pay, he gives back to them. Every time he's trying to use what he needs to, it's to get Benjamin out. It's to get his father out. It's to get his family out of famine and into blessing. And so the long story short, they come together and he reveals himself and they weep together. And I know that these brothers must have thought, that's it. It's game over. He's going to kill us all. And he's well within his power and within his rights to do it. But Joseph doesn't. He doesn't do it. He loves them.